Hey everyone, Off the Mic Sports Network here, reacting to the LA Dodgers winning the World Series, winning Game 5 over the New York Yankees 7-6. I'll just start off with this. This was one of the strangest and most bizarre sporting events I've ever seen. Not baseball games, sporting events. Because the amount of unforced errors and the amount of just goofy bullshit that happened in this game was really just... It was one of the most insane things that I've ever watched in my life. Like, I'm sitting there and it's just you're stunned and you're dumbfounded that this series is not going back to LA for a game 6. Like, it is insane. I will get to the 5th inning because this, like, first off, 30,000 foot view just at the whole series. First of all, congratulations to the Dodgers. They were the best team in baseball through the regular season. They had to fight through a ton of adversity, having next to no pitchers. Their number one starter was a guy they acquired at the deadline. You have Walker Buehler closing out game, and we'll talk about Walker Buehler being the hero in this one after basically two seasons where he didn't pitch and was fighting to be in the rotation this postseason. So that's another thing. But yeah, the Yankees really threw 2 games in the trash here. And that's why the series is over in 5 games. You'll look at this series back and you'll look at, well, it's a 5-game series. It's like the stuff that happened in the series and just the twists and turns of everything that went down. Like, when we look, this is one of the crazier series because you had the 2 fan interference plays. You had a guy basically assaulting Mookie Betts in Game 4. It's just, and then you get to this game, it's 5-0. Jack Flaherty starts this game, and you're a Dodger fan, you're nervous about it. He only gets 4 outs in this game. Aaron Judge, who had literally done nothing in this series, kind of woke up a little bit in Game 4, hits a home run in his first at-bat. Jazz Chisholm, who's actually woken up a little bit more in this series, hits a no-doubt home run. And it's 3-0 in the first inning. And then Verdugo gets a single, then Giancarlo hits a bomb. Giancarlo Stanton hits a ball. It's 5-0. 5-0 in the 3rd inning. And Garrett Cole is cruising through this game. When it's 5-0 in the 3rd inning, that is absolutely a game that the New York Yankees have to win. I was honestly questioning myself if the Dodgers were almost tanking this game so they could win on Friday on Fernando Valenzuela's birthday, which coincidentally is going to be the parade on Fernando Valenzuela's birthday, who just passed away within the last week. Like, but this is just it's an impossible win for the Los Angeles Dodgers, because in the 5th inning, 3 errors for the Yankees. One of them, Aaron Judge drops a routine pop out, which was really inexcusable. You had Anthony Volpe throwing a low throw to Jazz Chisholm that couldn't get the runner at third base, loading the bases. You had Mookie Betts grounding a routine slow grounder to Anthony Rizzo, and Garrett Cole doesn't get over to cover the base. And that leads to a continued inning. You have a balk later in this game where Luke Weaver threw over 3 times in the new rule where if you disengage and you throw over a 3rd time, you have to get the runner out or the runner gets to go to second base. I mean, I don't think that ended up, mattering. I can't even remember what happened in regards to that because, like I said, so much stuff. And then here is the capper. 5 of the 7 runs in this game were unearned. 5 of the 7 runs. All 5 runs in that 5th inning. And Garrett Cole's stat line, like Garrett Cole, he made one really bad mistake, which was not covering first base. He should have ran over to the bag. It was a routine play. Maybe he didn't think that he was going to be able to make Mookie Betts, who was trucking it down the line, and Mookie can move. But that was just an insane blunder on Garrett Cole's part. But yeah, Garrett Cole, 6 2/3, throws 108 pitches, 4 hits, 4 walks, 6 Ks, 0 earned runs. None of the runs that he surrendered in this game were earned. None of them. That is just bizarre. Just completely and utterly bizarre to see that happen. But man, like I said, that fifth inning is going to be talked about for years, man. Like, it's just in the fifth inning, you get the Mookie Betts infield single. It was really an error, but they're going to call it a single. Freddie Freeman gets a 2-run single. Freddie Freeman, nobody deserves it more than that guy winning World Series MVP. I mean, for God's sake, he had 4 straight games with a home run in this series, 6, and he didn't homer in this game, but it didn't matter. Then you get Teoscar Hernandez comes up big with a 2-run double, and we're 5-5. And then, yeah, even in the 6th inning, the Yankees are able to get this to 6-5 when Giancarlo Stanton hits a flyout. But it comes down to the Dodgers were able to persevere, and it showed a lot of their grit and their determination to come up big in big time spots, what they've been doing all year. And I know what a lot of people are going to say, oh man, it pays to, pay all these players all these amounts of money. Like Shohei Ohtani did nothing in this series. He did nothing in this series. He was hurt. And I know that people are going to maybe, knock that on his legacy for him not performing. But he's a big reason why they got to the World Series. So let's end that conversation. It's one of the great seasons he's ever had. Yeah, obviously not doing well, and I think he only had 2 hits in the series is going to hurt for him. But he toughed it out after he injured himself in Game 2. And who's to say how bad that shoulder was feeling? But he was holding his shoulder at every possible turn. So that's another part of this. But then we get to this game in particular. I went through the 5th inning. But the Dodgers pitching and the decisions made by Dave Roberts, who I have been critical of for years. I wanted the Dodgers to fire him. I think it was either after the San Diego series in 22 or in 23 when they got swept by the Diamondbacks. I thought it was time to move off of him. But specifically with a high-priced roster, this team showed a ton of grit. Tommy Edman was a trade deadline acquisition. He was the LCS MVP. Kike Hernandez comes back, and he's playoff Kike. Teoscar Hernandez was on a prove-it deal. Like, the guys in this lineup that delivered and made big plays, Freddie Freeman, who had been really a liability for this team because he was injured, and he was on a bum ankle. So it's a testament to this group for going through and battling through and winning this series, given, all of the cliches that you could throw at them. Oh, it pays to have all the money. Like, this was a different team, and this was a different Dodger team. And I've lived in LA. I've seen a lot of Dodger failures. I mentioned the previous 2 years, being out in the division series, being out in the LCS in 21. Obviously, people look at the 2020 championship in a shortened season and don't think it's legitimate. I refuse to believe that. There's a lot of perseverance to fight through a 60-game season, but still, they won. And then Dave Roberts managing in this series. Like, yeah, a lot of people are going to rip him for punting on Game 4, but it clearly worked in this situation because he pushed all the right buttons. Game 1, I thought he managed it well. And Aaron Boone made all the mistakes. Aaron Boone made mistakes in this game and made mistakes in this series. But Jack Flaherty gets him 4 outs and gives up 4 runs. So he gets pulled after only getting 4 outs, and he's out in the 2nd inning. So then from then on, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers after Jack Flaherty to get to the end. Anthony Bonda gets 2 outs. He struggled a little bit. Ryan Brazier, nobody will talk about his 12th pitch 1 inning of work, where he did give up the run to make it 5-0. But then Michael Kopech comes in. Big story from him. He came over from the White Sox, who were the worst team in baseball all season. He comes in, gives them a scoreless inning. Alex Vestia comes in, had to labor through 23 pitches to get through an inning. Brusdar Graterol gave up the lead, had 3 walks in the inning, but he's able to get 2 outs. And then really, I think there are 2 really big MVPs in this game, specifically for the Dodgers for me. One of them is Blake Trinan. Because Blake Trinan put together a Herculean effort on the mound to go 2 1/3 innings, comes in early into this game, goes 2 1/3 inning, gets 7 outs, and gets them to the 9th inning, including a massive strikeout of Anthony Rizzo to end the 8th inning, which was, you saw him being jacked up. It was an insane effort, 42 pitches, and there was a moment in the 8th inning where I was like, And I've always, like, yeah, I've been critical of Dave Roberts, but I've always thought, hey, he doesn't get nearly as much credit as he deserves. But there was a moment in the 8th inning where he goes out to visit with Blake Trinan. You think Blake Trinan is just cooked. And I think it was Stanton who came up, he went up and faced. And Giancarlo Stanton, I think it was on either the first or second pitch, gets a nice pop-up. But right before that, Dave Roberts even said it after the game. He's looked in his eyes and Blake Trinan said, I want this guy. You got him out, and then he got Rizzo out, which was a huge moment in this game, a huge swing point in this game. Dodgers lead 7-6 going to the 9th inning. And then Walker Buehler, I said it, the story, like, this pitching staff for the Dodgers, no Clayton Kershaw, no Tyler Glasnow. They were having a piece of this thing together. Yamamoto, their big offseason signing, he's their second starter. Jack Flaherty's been their number one guy, and he was acquired at the trade deadline. And he's been very hit and miss in this postseason. I mean, he gave up 4 runs and only got 4 outs in this game. Walker Buehler was really the forgotten guy. This guy was once the ace of this team. And then he has Tommy John surgery. He has 2 surgeries, has to miss 2 seasons. He's basically fighting for his job and fighting to be on this roster. He gets in. He has a great start in Game 3. Helps him get the win in that game. And then comes in here in a really tough spot, basically effectively on a day's rest, which is unheard of. Comes in on a day's rest. Mind you, all of the stuff that he's had to persevere. He throws 16 pitches, strikes out 2 guys, including Alex Verdugo, to end the game, and the LA Dodgers are your World Series champions. It's an amazing, amazing story. A lot of people will throw, hey, the Dodgers are like paid all this money. I was like, this was a different, gritty fighting, and this was a team win in every sense of the word. Like, it's just and also you take advantage of the opportunities you're given. In previous years, Dodger fans know this. When they are given golden opportunities, they have not capitalized. Whether it was Atlanta in 21, whether it was the Nationals in 2019, whether it was the Diamondbacks or the Padres in the last 2 years in the DS, they were able at every single turn when a quintessential Dodger meltdown could have happened. Whether it was down 2-1 to the Padres on the road in San Diego, they get 2 wins to win that series. Whether it was you're tied 1-1 going to New York against the Mets, and you win 2 out of the 3 there and win Game 6 at home. Or it's Game 1 of the World frickin' Series, you're down 2-1, you tie it, you're down 3-2 in the 10th inning, you get a walk-off grand slam from Freddie Freeman. In Game 5 here, you're down 5-0 as early as the 3rd inning. You're facing the possibility of having to go home with your bullpen already being taxed, and somehow you're able to get this through and get this to the end. It's an amazing, amazing win for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm so happy for the city. You could say what you want about fair weather fans. I'm not going to run from it. Dodger fans are very much fair weather fans. Let's call it what it is. This is a fair. But one thing that I can undisputedly say, it's one thing that is inarguable that I could say about this city of Los Angeles, is they love the Dodgers. Good or bad, whatever they are, they love the Dodgers. I remember as a little kid, I remember the days of Raul Mondesi. And, when the Dodgers really were not good. I remember the Frank McCourt days where people wanted him to sell the team. Like, I remember days, and people still showed up to Dodger games. Dodger games are always an event, and it's amazing that this city has not seen a full season Dodger championship since I've been alive. 1988. I was born in 1989. So if any team was going to do this, it was going to be this Dodger team, because they just persevered through so much shit this year. You have Clayton Kershaw is not able to get to the end. Tyler Glasnow, one of your big acquisitions, can't make it to the end. Obviously, you get Ohtani. Ohtani gives you nothing in this World Series. And you're able to basically, you benefited from some gaffes against a Yankees team that probably should be, this series should definitely still be going. And the Yankees, I mean, you could honestly make an argument the Yankees could be up 3-2, but holy shit, man. Like, it's It's an amazing win for the Dodgers. Now let's flip it to the Yankees. This was one of the most catastrophic collapses and biggest meltdowns that I have ever seen in any sporting event ever. That is not an exaggeration. I've never seen anything like that fifth inning. Never. Never seen anything like that. For Garrett Cole to give you almost 7 innings of baseball and throw 108 pitches, and you had a 5-0 lead, and you lost that game. The fifth inning is going to be talked about for years, centuries, decades. They are going to be writing books about what happened in this fucking game, because I fundamentally don't know how all of the stuff that happened in that fifth inning happened. You had a misplay in the infield where Anthony Rizzo and Garrett Cole, two very great players, can't figure out who's going to cover first base. It was probably on Garrett Cole, and he didn't get over there. Little things like that. Aaron Judge, the presumed AL MVP, not presumed, he's going to win the AL MVP, one of the best players in baseball, can't catch a routine fly ball in the outfield. Anthony Volpe, a great shortstop who's made a lot of great plays, can't make a routine throw, rushes a throw to Jazz Chisholm who can't get it. It loads the bases. Luke Weaver, who's been a great closer, having to throw over and check multiple times. It's just, there's so many little things that happen that that's the margin of error when it comes to a World Series. And when you've been battle tested like a lot of these Dodgers have, and they've been able to persevere through a really rough season even though they won 98 games, the Yankees hadn't been there. A lot of their guys hadn't been to the World Series, and I mean Garrett Cole had been there. Some of the other guys on this roster, Anthony Rizzo, obviously made my life miserable as a Cleveland Guardians fan. But yeah, the Yankees hadn't been to the World Series in 15 years, and it's just like, I mean, it really is a catastrophic collapse, because the Yankees are going to look back on this series and wonder why, and wonder how the hell this got away from them. But I also will say this, and so I do know some Yankees fans, but there's a lot of them out there who are a bunch of assholes. I'll directly point. I can't even remember the guy's name. I'll directly point to the first inning of Game 4, when two fans pretty much committed assault to Mookie Betts. I didn't come on the channel because I wanted to see how Game 5 went, but now I feel like it's a good opportunity. There's a lot of Yankee fans who are just miserable fucks, and were sulking through even this inning when they were up 5-0 and everything went wrong, because they blame Aaron Boone, and they blame him. Listen, Aaron Boone made some mistakes. It's not his fault that fifth inning happened. They made some mistakes. And then going back, listen, after what happened in the stands in Game 4, a lot of you Yankee fans fucking deserve this, man. You guys have been a spoiled fan base for 15 years. You hadn't been to a World Series since 2009. You'll win one game in this series where the Dodgers punted on. You're lucky this wasn't a sweep. And yeah, your manager cost you Game 1. This was not Aaron Boone's fault. I will say, Aaron Boone, this is not Aaron Boone's fault. Yeah, he should have probably gotten in there and slowed the game down, much like Dave Roberts did for Blake Trinan when Garrett Cole. But Garrett Cole was able to get through a lot of tough stuff, and it wasn't Garrett Cole's fault, outside of one mistake where he didn't run to first base, that the Yankees lost this game. The Yankees ended up taking the lead, and then they gave it right back because of some other gaffes that happened in this game. Like, it's just, it couldn't have happened to and I'm not saying this for all, but there's a lot of Yankees fans out there who just, like, you guys, like I said, it's, I look at that situation in the outfield, and I know that's not a representation of everybody. There's a lot of miserable Yankee fans out there that, frankly, you guys kind of deserve this. Like, you kind of did. And just, like, the meltdown of epic proportions. Like, seriously. But yeah. Before I go, really want to reflect on this series. Obviously, Game 1 is going to be remembered for the walk-off grand slam, which is going to live forever. a Kirk Gibson moment like it is. It was pointed out to me that Game 5, a lot of parallels to what happened when the Dodgers beat the A's. Orel Hershiser, a starting pitcher, closed it out in 1988. The last time they won in a full season. Walker Buehler, a starting pitcher, closes out in this series. A little bit different circumstances. Obviously, using 8 pitchers and having nobody left and having to go to Walker Buehler is just an insane amount of trust in Dave Roberts. Yeah, it really is like it's an insane effort. But Game 2, Dodgers are able to hold on. Game 3, Dodgers are able to hold on. But in Game 1, also, there's 2 fan interferences in this series. One of them was just a Dodger fan reaching over the wall when Gleyber Torres hit what looked like was going to be at least a double in the 9th inning, and it ended up not mattering. Nobody's going to talk about that. Everybody's going to focus on the fan in right field almost injuring Mookie Betts. But yeah, this is a wild series. Like for a 5-game series, this was damn sure entertaining, and great for baseball. I mean, yeah, obviously the amount of drama and the amount of craziness that went on in this series. It's just, congrats to the Dodgers, and man, if you're the Yankees and you're a fan, and there's a lot of people I know, but yeah, if you're one of those miserable people, you're going to be left scratching your head because it sounds like Aaron Boone's coming back. He has been a liability for this team. I don't think he was necessarily the reason why they really fully lost Game 5, but he's a big reason why they didn't win this series. So, shout out to Dave Roberts, a guy, like I said, who has taken a lot of shit from people like me. He's validated with this win. He made all the right decisions. He managed this game. He managed this series about as well as you could. Got some breaks, but that's baseball. So he deserves this. Great guy, one of the good guys in sports. Freddie Freeman, one of the good guys in sport, in all of sports, just not just in baseball. To see what he persevered with the stuff with his son, the injuries and stuff, having a really hard season, but coming back and winning World Series MVP is amazing. Mookie Betts feeling validated after coming up short for the Dodgers in the postseason. He gets another World Championship with Dodgers, this time in a full season. He won one with the Red Sox and obviously the 2020 season. And yeah, just a team win and just a team series and a team championship in every sense of the word. This was not, again, I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself a little bit, but you watch this team and it's not this quintessential high priced, super team that looks like from 30,000 feet, you look at it and you're like, okay, yeah, they gave Ohtani all that money. They gave, Tyler Glasnow. They gave Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, all these, and you got all these big names he brought in. Like I said it before, pitching staff, patchwork. They're doing it with bullpen games. Shohei Ohtani gives them nothing in this series. You got Tommy Edman, who I had not heard of before this postseason, comes in there, and he's a big-time contributor for them. Max Muncy, who's been big for them in previous series, he wasn't big-time in this series. For whatever reason, Kike Hernandez turns into Babe Ruth when he's in the postseason. But yeah, it's an amazing story for the Dodgers. And then like I said, for the Yankees, it's just like you're left wondering why. So yeah, that's my baseball conversation. We'll see some of the offseason storylines that come about from this Juan Soto status. Is going to be interesting moving forward. That's going to be something to monitor. And we'll see where this Yankee team, and if they're able to pick themselves up, because hey, the American League, Guardians, even in a 5-game series, like they grinded some shit out against the Yankees. And for any Yankee fans who's trying to minimize what the Guardians did against them with that insane win in Game 3, fuck you. Like, it's just like, because now basically by your logic, hey, none of what happened in that series, the Juan Soto home run in Game 5 that won you the series, none of that matters. You guys didn't win it. We didn't win it either. The Dodgers are the world champions, and that's what matters right now. So thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.